Okay, this is awkward. So, ladies and gentlemen, I go by Code 365. I'm the guy that's been gracing you with all that music rapidly. I'm cranking it out like a machine. Okay, so in this day and age of microwave raps, I've been trying to figure out how to distribute long form music, not content, but music. I have a 5-minute song about fear and anxiety, and it does not have the melodies or the stuff that's gonna work on TikTok. So it's a song with extreme depth and multiple layers that you can just never put in one short form video. So I figured out, let me try a different way to try to distribute this song, and hopefully it resonates with you guys. Without wasting too much time, let's dive right into it.
A lot of people changed up. Ooh, oh. A lot of people changed up. Ooh, oh. Ain't no God got a plan for me. Ain't got a plan for me. Adversity made a man in me. You be going too long. You be going too long. I been stressed too long.
I'm probably gonna call this video the 3 stages of a man's grief. And these stages would consist of being a child, a teenager, and a young adult. I don't have the perspective of being an older adult. So the intro starts out by making a bold statement saying, ain't no God got a plan for me. And I think this comes back from being young and being raised in an environment where people want to put all their hands into an entity outside of themselves. And I said, ain't no God got a plan for me. So people like to say, no, God got it, and so on. So I think that's deeper outside of just, religion and spirituality, but it's being accountable and learning to be accountable as a man.
Yeah, if you gon' ride for me, slide for me. I'm never gon' know if you ride for me. If everything flush, no adversity. Have mercy on me. Mercy on me. Mercy on me.
If you gon' ride for me, slide for me. I'm never gon' know if you ride for me. If everything flush, no adversity. Have mercy on me. Mercy on me. Mercy on me. So that's another layer that we have to peel out. If you gon' ride for me, slide for me. I'm never gon' know if you ride for me. If everything flush, no adversity, have mercy on me. Yeah, first, if you're gonna ride for me, slide for me. I think that talks about loyalty. I'm extremely huge on loyalty, and yeah, you just never know. With loyalty, you just never know until you're in the heat of the moment. So, if you're gonna ride for me, slide for me. I'm never gonna know if you ride for me. If everything plush, no adversity, have mercy on me. If everything's just great, you're not going through adversity with, the potential people that need to be loyal. How you gonna know? And then have mercy on me. That's still my religious background, trying to still reach out to an entity outside of myself to say, I'm on this journey, I'm on the path, and it's very scary. So have mercy on me as I navigate, this journey.
A lot of people changed up. Ooh, oh. A lot of people changed up. Ooh, oh.
And drew the whole thing out in sand. Thing appeared in a flash in his mind, and everything was invented at that point.
So a lot of people changed up. Ooh, that still deals with loyalty. And then I have this sample that comes in that I sample a scientist, actually. And that's a lot to unpack, but that's not for this video right now. So, verse 1 comes in.
I grew up adversity pain. Mama died to argue adversity rain. Lightning struck almost cursed to the pain. Catholic schools almost drive me insane. Shit, scratch that, run it back.
So, I grew up with adversity pain. Mom and dad to argue, adversity reign. So, yeah, when I was young, I had a lot of siblings and cousins living with us because we were a little bit more well off, and they had to, come stay with us for whatever reasons. And everybody would go to school early in the morning. I would be the only kid that stayed home from around to about noon, and then I went to school and came back later because our school was undergoing some construction and whatever. And my mom and dad would constantly argue and fight and argue, and I would be the only guy that watched that. So I, of course, ended up turning out a little bit more different than everybody or my siblings, but maybe that had something to do with it. I turned out pretty great. I became a great kid, but that's that bar. I grew up with adversity pain. Mom and dad to argue, adversity reign, and it's a lot of kids that grew up in worse situations than me. I can only imagine. I know a lot of kids that had it worse, but I think it was a phase in their marriage that they just had something to work out in. I think it worked out pretty much from there. So I grew up with adversity reign. Mom and dad to argue, adversity reigns. Lightning struck, almost cursed pain. Catholic schools almost drive me insane. Yeah, so I was a kid, I think maybe 6-7 years old. One day I'm watching TV and then lightning just randomly strikes, and I'm sitting right there, and the lightning like literally strikes in our home, goes through my legs and hits we'll call it a decoder at the time, and hits the decoder, our cable provider at the time, and it just destroys everything. So I vividly remember that day and my mom coming home and saying, wow, Catholic schools almost drive me insane. That Catholic school was quite the experience. I'll share one story. A teacher beat the hell out of me once, and I told my dad, say, hey, this is what happened. And he approached the teacher, and the teacher explained, and I forgot what he said. And then my dad beats the hell out of me too.
Never realized the circumstances we was put. Strategizing, injecting this fear, we was shook. Anything for flashy things that call us crooks. Fear.
Those bars are just trying to illustrate what overrided my fear from a young age. I might have had fear, but I was willing to do whatever it takes to attain what I desired. At the time, flashy things, we want the car, we want the new game, we want the new devices. You just want everything that the rich kids at the time, I was young, seemed to have. I would do anything to get that. Even now, we will do anything for success.
Fear that my father gon' whoop me. Fear that the teacher's gon' whoop. Brave is when I told you how I feel, when I came up to your house and I look up in your eyes.
Fear that my father gon' whoop me. Fear that the teacher's gon' whoop. Fear. I already spoke about that, to my dad, teachers, and so on. So that was that phase. So fear that my father gon' whoop me. Fear that the teacher's gon' whoop. Fear. Brave is when I told you how I feel, when I came up to your house and I look up in your eyes. Fear. This is an interesting story. Should I say her name? I ain't gonna say her name though. Let's just call this girl A. Letter A. So I went to a school and we had this one girl. She was the baddest girl, the cutest girl I have ever seen. So a little bit of backstory. Before I went to Catholic school. I used to go to like some random private school that was not really a top school. When I went to the Catholic school, it was a private school and it was a top school in my area, and you had a little bit more quality of people there. So I see this girl for the first time, and god damn, I will never forget that day. That girl was gorgeous. So the years went by. I had a huge crush on this girl, bro. A lot of the kids had a huge crush. She was just gorgeous. One day, my goofy ass, stupid Cole, decides to go to our house. I don't even know how I figured out where she lives. I think we used to live quite a little bit close, but not that close. So one day, my dad's car was driving behind her mom's car, and I saw where that car, turned, and I kind of figured out, oh, she lives right there. And I went to her house, and because I couldn't do it in school. That's fear. The fear of rejection in school, and I was the guy in school. I've always been that guy. So if a girl, she didn't like me. I was an asshole. Captain of the sports, I would fight good. I knew how to fight. I was fast. And I was that guy. So I was an asshole, and she definitely, young girls don't know how to deal with guys with a huge personality. I had a very huge personality when I was young. And I went to her house. I said, hey. So they lived in like a gated community. I got there, knocked, and she came out. Thankfully, not her mom. And I told her what it is. I'm like, hey, I like you. You should go ride for me. And she said, no. No, it's all right. I approached my fears, and I got rejected, and oh yeah, no comment, bro. It took me back there, but I ended up just walking away and just running off, bro. I ran, and I didn't want her to see me running out, so I was like, they had like like a ditch. They had like, their neighborhood had a bunch of ditches where in case it's raining, the rain would flow there. But it was the summer, you call it, so there was no rain, and I was just running in there until I like got to like the bus stop, and I got on the bus, and I remember I played that one song, that Lil Wayne song. You forgot about the house. You forgot about me. I remember everything. I just want to hear you sing. What's... I held that L.
Brave is when I told you how I feel. When I came up to your house and I look up in your eyes.
Today she's a whore. And she's ugly. I've seen pictures of her and shit. And I know a few guys. I talked to her and whatnot. So... boy... Anyway, so that's that story.
Fear, gotta fight for my respect. Fear, I'm trying to fit in with the rich. Fear, losing people that we love. Fear.
Fighting for my respect has always been a theme of my life, and fitting in with the rich too. It seems like, because I still deal with those problems now. Not currently now, but as recent as a few months ago. Being young, you literally had to fight to gain respect. You had to be physically tough. And then trying to fit in with the rich when I was young, I went to a school with a lot of rich kids. We were not as rich as them. We were not well off for the most part. Now, you get some money, you want to just drive the same cars that a rich guy has. Rich, you want to live in the same neighborhoods and all that stuff. And I'm still extremely young, granted, so you still have to find your grounding. in this thing called life, because at the end of the day, it's been a long battle of trying to fit in with the Janes and the Johns, and still trying to fight for your respect, whether being in music now, whether being in business, whether being just in society as a whole. You have to fight for your respect in various ways. You know, you show your musical excellence, maybe by displaying your business acumen or whatever you do. So it's been a constant fight. But you know, ever since I embarked on this musical journey, it's now a case of I gotta finish the purpose. I'm not chasing careers anymore. I'm not chasing jobs anymore. It's extremely hard, but now I'm chasing purpose. And however that turns out to become, I'm glad what I was doing today was leading me towards a path of purpose.
12 years old, biggest fear came true, man, my father died. Could you look me in the eye? Does it seem like I'm capable of crime? Learned a lot from him. I became a man.
12 years old, biggest fear came true, man, my father died. Could you look me in the eye? Does it seem like I'm capable of crime? So, yes, just shortly after I graduated from the Catholic school, primary school, and I was going to another school, and my dad passed away right in between that. I don't think he got to see my grades for that. He was big on grades. And that's one of my biggest fears as a kid. You know, your dad passing. It was bittersweet. He was a tough guy. He was a tough motherfucker. I need to bleep that out. He was a tough guy. And, you know, I don't know. I still can't seem to understand why I didn't cry as hard as I should have. And my mom was mad at me for that. She wanted me to cry. Yeah, because she looked me in the eyes. Does it seem like I'm capable of crying? I didn't cry as hard. I was heartbroken, but I think he was looking down at me, and I think I was the chosen one. I felt in that moment when my dad passed away, I was the chosen one to make things happen for the entire family. I was only 12. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I had this huge responsibility on me. So as everybody cried, the entire family weeping and crying, I felt I should be the one to stand there, take a deep breath, and make the plan to make sure everybody's straight and everybody's good. And at his funeral, they appointed me to pray, to do the prayer, which I did a great job with. It was an extremely emotional sight. I had to kneel right on his grave and pray. And I was like 12. And I knew in that moment, I got to do something with my life. That's what that bar meant there.
Yeah, 21, my biggest fear was losing it all. Whoa. Then adversity struck, I ended up making it more. Whoa. By age 21, my biggest fear was how to get richer. 21, my biggest fear was how to get healthier. 21, my biggest fear, how they gon' look at me. 21, as for my age, I'm not 21.
By age 21, my biggest fear was how to get richer. 21, my biggest fear is how to get healthier. By age 20 or so, I found some success. Just left college. I was now in the real world where I always said I'm going to get rich. And I hit 21. I have some resources. I have some money. And I'm living this double life. I'm only doing what I need to do in corporate America because I want to fund this. I want to make music. I want to make a success out of it. That's the only reason I got into corporate America. 21, my biggest fear is how to get healthier. Just like everybody, if we've always been indoctrinated with, oh, you gotta eat healthy so you can live long, and so I always had it at the back of my mind when I was younger and say, hey, once I hit like 20, I'm going to start I'm going to become a vegan or whatever. Now we know, at least, that being vegan or vegetarian is not the right move. I eat extremely healthy now. I fulfilled that, but I'm not a vegan, I'm not a vegetarian, none of that. I eat the carnivore type stuff. And eventually I just eat whatever I like. I'll eat ice cream. I'll eat candy. I'll eat chocolate. I'll eat anything. But I only have one rule. I'm gonna eat minimum. So if I have ice cream, that's all I'm probably gonna eat for the whole day. And I think it's working out. You gotta be healthy, right? By 21, I was thinking about health. 21, my biggest fear is how they go and look at me. 21, as for my age, I'm not 21. In a corporate meeting, the other side about 81. Let's break that down. I once flew to California for a meeting. The meeting was a deal. It was an acquisition I was spearheading. It was worth about 40 million or so. They wanted it was not worth 40 million. I was looking at another deal in California, though it was a tiny deal. Some telecom company in like the rural California. They were providing like Wi-Fi for rural areas, and they're asking for, it was a deal worth $1 million or so. So I go to California, I fly there, and I'm having these meetings with these old guys. The second deal, the $1 million deal, they did a lot of research on me. So they looked me up, they found my companies, and in that they found my age. So I go to the meeting, they know my age. Usually when somebody asks, they never ask you for your age, and you could just never tell. I was 21, so we're negotiating, this deal, and the guys are trying to belittle me, right? So that's where that line comes from. And I think I recorded this song right after that trip. 21, how they go and look at me. 21, as for my age, I'm not 21. In a corporate meeting, the other side about 81. I don't feel pressure, man, I'm taking over 8 of them. 21, start dressing like a little kid. I say 21. I mean, you can feel the aggression in the song. I have a chip on my shoulder. I do. I really do have a chip on my shoulder. I know where it comes from. And that second bar where I was like, the other side about 81, in a corporate meeting, the other side about 81. I don't feel pressure, man, I'm taking over 8 of them. 21. That's the $40 million deal. There was like, they were not 8. I've had situations where they're like 8. In that specific, they were not 8. They're about 4 or 5. And they're 60, 70, 80. I'm a 21-year-old kid. And I'm alone. And we're negotiating. Heated. And I have my suit.
In a corporate meeting, the other side about 81. I don't feel pressure, man, I'm taking over 8 of them. 21, stop dressing like a little kid. I say 21, I never smoked any weed. Conducted myself to be taken very seriously. And my biggest fear, when they find out we're making beats, we was...
Yes, I got my suit on, all that. It's heated in there, so I said 21, stop dressing like a little kid. I say 21, I never smoked any weed, conducted myself to be taken very seriously. Yeah, my biggest fears, when they find out we're making beats, we was 21, trying to get the world to believe in me. Self-explanatory there. That's why I have this little white t-shirt on right now. I stopped dressing like a little kid. I might look like a kid with, the no boxes, but this is to send a message out there. But I don't wear Jordans, designers anymore. I don't wear casual clothing anymore. I just stopped doing all that by the age 21. I was always in a suit, and I still wear a suit every single day. conducting myself to be taken very seriously. And my biggest fear is when they find out we're making beats. Of course, my demeanor had to represent what I was trying to accomplish. And to this day, I've never smoked weed. I don't know what it feels like to get high. I don't know what it feels like to get drunk. So I never smoked any weed, conducting myself to be taken very seriously. And my biggest fear is when we find out we're making beats. Yeah, when they find out we're making beats. I don't know why I've always had this fear. Since high school, like I would go to the studio and my boy would tell me, yo, you're gonna make it with this music. You're extremely, talented. I'm like, yeah, you think so? Like I would love to make it now and just like pay for college with it. That's kind of how I always viewed, making music. But now that I'm grown and I have my own thoughts and my own, way of perceiving reality, I think music is an extremely powerful creative tool. I mean, that's a video for another time. But yes, there's fear. And maybe that's why I'm still wearing a mask today. I don't want to show my face because not just Gen Z, but just the broader human community, they judge. And it's fine. It's nothing wrong with it. But I still have, to this day, I'm still fighting fear, right? I'm halfway battle, but I'm winning. But yes, they'll judge you if you show your face all over the internet doing something that they perceive isn't what you're representing when you walk in the room. And I still am working on extremely big opportunities. Music is just a piece of the puzzle towards what I'm trying to attain. And if my entire personality is a rapper, I fear, I don't fear, but I presume that's going to open up more challenges towards, how you're perceived. We're going to navigate it. It's not going to stop us from attaining what we need to attain.
21, trying to get the world to believe in me. Trying to get the world to see what I see in me. Change my mind on careers or what I want to be. 21, and my money stacking like I'm 81. Messing with my money, I too can be a petty one.
Still out there trying to get the world to believe in me. As a young man, you don't have a lot of experience in life. The greatest thing you can do for yourself is gain experiences, gain resources, and fearlessly tackle your dreams. Getting the right team, getting credible people to believe in you is a huge part of success and the journey. And that's where that book came from, trying to get the world to believe in me in every aspect in the music I'm pursuing right now. Trying to get the world to believe in me in every other single venture I'm doing. Trying to get the world to see what I see in me. Change my minds on careers of what I want to be. Like for when I was young, I wanted to be a cop first, which was very naive because I saw them have a lot of power, as we navigated the streets. But that's a deeper thing to actually look into. Why did I want to be a cop? Because of power. And then I want to be a lawyer because lawyers made a lot of money, presumably. I had a friend, his dad was a lawyer. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a lawyer. As time went on, I changed up. I wanted to be an I wanted to do economics, and I obviously ended up in business because that's the highest level of creating wealth. And that's a deeper understanding to that, because what's wealth at the end of the day? I gained a lot of wisdom from, pursuing business. So change my minds on careers of what I want to be. I still love music. I think music is the highest level of creativity. I have multiple skills. I can engineer stuff. I can design. I can software engineer. I can audio engineer. And by no stretch, I can say this with full confidence, music is extremely powerful, because your creative process comes from a different realm. From my experience, it's extremely powerful. even what you create with music. What's a song? You can't touch a song. The mediums of distribution used to be CDs. You could touch a CD, but the song itself, you can't. Where's the song? You just hear it. It's just sound. It's frequency. So it's extremely powerful. And if you can communicate frequency in a way that it inspires people in various ways, it inspires them to dance, it inspires them to get money, you got something on your hands. So change my mind. Some careers of what I want to be. 21, and my money stacking like I'm 81. Messing with my money, I too can be a petty one. Yeah, so I talked about how I have changed my mind on multiple careers. And I find myself not trying to pursue a career anymore. Because I have had a career, arguably, in a very lucrative space. And I've decided to leave all that behind and just pursue purpose. And I think that's what I'm at, and I'm extremely gifted, or rather extremely fortunate to be in a position where I can pursue purpose.
Change my mind on careers of what I wanna be. 21, and my money stacking like I'm 81. Messing with my money, I too can be a petty one.
Money is the most successful story ever told. Much more successful than any religious mythology. Even though it's just a figment of our imagination.
Messing with my money, I too can be a petty one. Corporate America is extremely petty. It's extremely cutthroat. It's extremely ruthless. And business people in corporate America will do anything it takes to get to the top. So messing with the money, they can be extremely petty. And that's what that meant.
Money is the most successful story ever told. Much more successful than any religious mythology. Even though it's just a figment of our imagination.
Now that I'm doing content creation, I'm learning to tell stories. And learning how to tell stories vividly. And then what you're going to learn is humanity is just the tale of stories. Every single thing we know and respect and have strong feelings about is just a story. So is money. Money is just a story. And I sampled that because of what I addressed in verse 3. As I attained prosperity, let me tell you a story. I was 21. I just signed a huge contract. I made a lot of money. I had my own spot. I just got the new electric car at the time. It was a Tesla when nobody had one. And I sat down and I was like, yo, is this it? Like, is this it? Have I arrived to what I wanted? And I felt so empty. I was alone, and I think every person in the journey of success arrives to that point. Like, you get to where you always wanted to be, and you're like, this is it? And then two things happen. They either hit a J. Cole, I love yours, or they say, fuck you. I'll blip that. Or they say, nah, we're going all in. And I think very few people decide to go all in. And majority of the people, give them 30 million, 100 million, they're going to spend that time with their family and they're just going to enjoy their life. But it takes a certain type of person to say, nah, let's see how far we can take this. Let's see if we can actually learn more. Let's figure out what's out there. And I think that's where purpose comes in. A career is going to be like, okay, I made a lot of money, I'm gone. But purpose is what keeps you going. And it's a very few amount of people there. I would like to think I'm one of them, because what I'm doing in the grand scheme of a career is extremely reckless. But purpose lets me know, like, yo, it's a no-brainer. This is how you need to approach what you're trying to do. So that's what that line is.
In my 20s, made $1 million, figured out to get richer. Getting all the cars and I'm really getting healthier. Finally out of survival mode, I'm thinking bigger. In my 20s, made a lot of money, fucking every bitch. In my 20s, man, I started questioning what is life. In my 20s, unimaginable heights I'm attaining in my 20s. How am I gonna reinvest every single penny?
In my 20s, made a lot of money, funny, getting richer, getting all the cars, and I'm really getting healthier. Finally out of survival mode, I'm thinking bigger. In my 20s, made a lot of money, getting every... This talks about all the desires I had in my teens, you know. Material wealth, which I started to attain. Finally out of survival mode, I'm thinking bigger. A lot of people are in survival mode. You don't really think about the grand scheme of what life is. But whether being rich or poor or middle class, a lot of people just don't think about what's life. Like really dissecting that core question. And I think that's what I came to arrive to. I'm like, is this it? I discussed that prior. Is this it? Is this what we really chase? So what's life? What's the meaning of life? That's what really I started to think about.
In my 20s, I conquered fear through my knowledge. In equal opportunity, I can never stomach. Your geographic location determined your fate in life. That's a real IQ test if you ask me. See this kids from Somalia get a Grammy. Start a corporation or maybe get rich. How can I fear if you ask me?
In my 20s, I conquered fear through my knowledge. In equal opportunity, I can never stomach. Your geographic location determined your fate in life. That's a real IQ test if you ask me. See these kids from Somalia get a Grammy. Start a corporation or maybe get rich. How can I fear if you ask me? So I came to find that in fear is where you find ignorance. And the more knowledge I gained about the specific topic, the more enlightened I became to pursue that endeavor fearlessly. So that's where that line stems from. In my 20s, I conquered fear through my knowledge. And then in equal opportunity, I can never stomach. Your geographic location determined your fate in life. That's the real IQ test if you ask me. You have people today in various geographic locations extremely capable of really shaping the world in a very productive manner moving forward. But they don't have the infrastructure or whatever situation they were born in. And the line there addresses your geographic location determines your fate in life. That's the real IQ test if you ask me. And Nipsey had a similar line where he was like, it's a few niggas every generation that ain't supposed to make it out but decode the matrix. I want to get to speak it's like a coded language. Remind niggas of the strength and know the stolen greatness. And that's what that meant. There are certain people that are not supposed to, by a stretch of the imagination, be in the positions they're in based on just their circumstances, be it just where you're born. The infrastructure is just not there for you to make your talents to use, so put your talents to use. But you beat all the odds and you make it to extreme heights that nobody expected. So your geographic location determined your fate in life. That's a real IQ test if you ask me. See these kids from Somalia get a Grammy. Start a corporation or maybe get rich. How can I fear if you ask me? And those next bars just say, okay, those are exceptional people and they did extremely exceptional things and worked extraordinarily to be in the position they're in. Not a lot of people would undergo such rigorous training and rigorous circumstances to get to the next level. We need to make success something attainable. You know, you don't have to work your entire existence just to make it to one point. And that's what that addresses. If we can put up the infrastructure for people to succeed, we all win. And that's what that line was addressing.
My teacher told me give a man a meal, he gon' ask tomorrow. Give him opportunity, he gon' shape tomorrow. My civic teacher told me he can be everything. My civic teacher told me charity ain't a thing. My civic teacher civic teacher. My civic teacher told me it ain't a crime to be rich. My civic teacher. My civic teacher. My civic teacher.
That just discusses a few of the wise things a teacher told me. I have never been a fan of high school teachers or teachers in general, but this one special teacher I had that taught me the civic education aspect of life was an extremely wise man that made some very bold statements. He made some very great statements that always resonated with me. And he said, give a man a meal, he gonna ask tomorrow. Give somebody $1 million, he's gonna come back and he's gonna ask for more. Give him opportunity, he gonna shape tomorrow. Self-explanatory. My civic teacher told me he could be anything. My civic teacher told me charity ain't a thing. My civic teacher, he told me charity is a bunch of bullcrap. And he said that's what you need to do. You need to give man the opportunity to shape tomorrow. Charity is bullcrap. My civic teacher told me it ain't a crime to be rich. My civic teacher, he talked about the virtues of the free market system. He spoke about it's not a crime to get rich. You find all these poor people complaining about how this rich guy is getting fat, but they do not understand the virtues that this man is actually embarking on for him to be an extremely wealthy man. Give me opportunity, I'm gonna shape tomorrow. Whoa.
Give me opportunity, I'ma shape tomorrow. Whoa. Oh, divine providence, I ask now for more riches, but more wisdom with which to make use of the riches you gave me at birth, consisting in the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever ends my desire. Give me opportunity, I'ma shape tomorrow. Whoa.